What if you just decide to make your gun at home on a 3D printer? There's no way they can find out about that, right? Like, who would ever know? Well, think again. What's up, everyone out there in YouTube world, Facebook world, social media world, the world? Welcome to Musings with MGL. What are we going to talk about here today? Well, we're going to talk about 3D printers and how can they find out, how can the government find out if you have a 3D printer and if you're 3D printing guns? Well, here's how. This comes to us courtesy of our friends over at AmmoLand. So as you can see here, DHS admits to monitoring 3D printer purchases with the help of Amazon, eBay, and PayPal. Oh, look at that. The Department of Homeland Security made a shocking admission while speaking about a Staten Island man who was arrested for making homemade firearms. The DHS, with the help of Amazon, eBay, PayPal, and others, is monitoring Americans buying 3D printers and 3D printing materials that could be used for making firearms. The Homeland Security Investigations New York's El Dorado Task Force, Jesus Christ, which consists of various units for DHF, including Homeland Security Investigations Financial Crimes Task Force, helped the New York Police Department raid the home of John Raya. The 57-year-old man was accused of manufacturing firearms without serial numbers and having several standard capacity magazines, which are against New York state law to own. New York law enforcement authorities arrested the man. After this raid, the task force showed off the guns and ammo it seized during the raid. Sergeant blah, blah, blah spoke with the press and made some startling admissions. According to the investigator, DHS is tracking the sale of anything that can be used to create a firearm, including metal rails used in 3D printed guns. Not only is the government monitoring the sale of perfectly legal gun parts, but they are also tracking things such as the purchase of 3D printers. The vast majority of people who buy 3D printers do not use them to print guns, but buying too many printing supplies or printers could get you investigated by Homeland Security. As they note here, there is no federal law against making homemade firearms, even though the Biden administration demonizes the practice by calling privately manufactured firearms, quote, ghost guns. We've all heard that before. We know they like to talk about that. The lack of federal statute banning the homemade firearms means that DHS is investigating people for carrying out perfectly lawful commerce. If someone passes a certain threshold for purchasing 3D printing supplies, which DHS hasn't announced, the federal government admitted that it would investigate the buyer and monitor their social media. More disturbing is that giant online retailers such as Amazon and eBay and payment processors such as eBay are turning over sales records of anyone who purchased certain items, including 3D printers, every 2 months to authorities to sift through. None of those being investigated broke any laws for their purchases. To many, this would be like investigating anyone who buys a car because they might buy one to use as a getaway vehicle to be used during a bank robbery. In an article published by AmmoLand a couple of weeks ago, the FBI was quoted as saying they cannot investigate people for constitutionally protected conduct, but that seems to be what DHS is doing when it comes to buying 3D printers and legal gun parts. We just basically track internet purchases from eBay, PayPal, Amazon, different various online companies, Vaughn said. We get a list every other month, backdated a month, with people purchasing components that could possibly create a ghost gun like the rails and the 3D printer. So there you have it, folks. The federal government is now, with the cooperation of these third-party private companies, are now gathering every 2 months sales data so they can keep a list of people who are buying 3D printers and supplies and stuff that go with 3D printers that the government thinks you can use to make ghost guns. This is outrageous on behalf of the government. It's obviously outrageous on behalf of the private entities, and it's just a runaround of what they cannot do. They can't come search your home without a warrant, so what they do is they go get these third-party chicken shit companies like they were doing with the banks and stuff when it came to gun detail retailers and everything else, and they're getting these third-party companies to turn over their private data, your data of the things that you buy, so that they can decide whether you've bought too much and that they think you need to be put on their list or their radar. So this is just a warning to everybody out there. Be careful. Big Brother is watching you despite what they want to say, and they are checking your internet sales for any of these kind of things that they think you might use to illegally manufacture a gun. So it's just another example of how crazy and out of control our government is when it comes to violating our constitutional rights. So you've been warned. It's going on out there. Write your congressman. Do whatever you think you can do to say that it's bullcrap. If you want to complain to these companies about it, you could probably do that as well. I'm not sure it's going to do anything. But big government and big tech, once again, colluding to come after your constitutional rights. So that's all I got for today, as disappointing as it is. So thanks for watching. Please like, share, comment down below. It really helps out the algorithm. If you like the channel, please help support it. Otherwise, until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay vigilant, and as always, carry on.